Hey everyone, CornerPinoyX here once again, back with another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the latest gameplay preview of Raging Brachydios itself, and we're just going to break down as to what we can expect when it comes to Raging Brachydios itself and what it had in previous generation games and what it has when it comes out in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So in this video, we are just going to be quickly breaking down what we can expect when it comes to Raging Brachydios itself and what has changed from its previous version when it comes out in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Now, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel so you can go ahead and catch up on any content that I might be doing in future. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Raging Brachydios itself when it comes out in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Now, first and foremost, let's quickly take a look at the visuals of the Raging Brachydios itself. From the get-go, pretty much, they stated that this is one thick boy, so this is pretty chunky in comparison to the standard Brachydios, and it's far larger, as they said, an absolute unit. Now, in terms of the visual aesthetics of the standard Brachydios and Raging Brachydios, you'll notice that when it comes to Raging Brachydios, it's covered in far more slime from head all the way down to the tail in comparison to that of the standard Brachydios. Standard Brachydios doesn't actually have slime on its tail, but this one does. That's pretty much an aesthetic that it had in previous generation games and is far more prominent in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, which is really awesome. Now, in terms of other visual effects that I genuinely enjoyed when it comes to Raging Brachydios, it has to be the explosions. This game really does the explosion justice. I mean, previous generation games, they were awesome to an extent, but if you take a look at the explosions that's happening in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, sometimes one of the key things that people don't really appreciate enough when it comes to Iceborne is the visuals. And for me personally, I genuinely enjoy the visuals of a monster. And Raging Brachydios' visuals is just amazing, and I genuinely enjoy it. So I can't wait to see more of these visuals when it comes out around March 23 in Iceborne. I cannot wait for this monster. I was hoping they'd do a review of Rajang as well, but we can wait for Furious Rajang. Maybe that one's gonna be a surprise. But overall, the visuals on Raging Brachydios, stunning, mind-blowing, literally, super awesome. Now then, moving on from the general aesthetic and the overall visuals of the Raging Brachydios itself, let's talk combat mechanics, because this is going to be the main part that people will need to know with regards to fighting this monster. Now, first and foremost, it maintains its previous generation's capabilities of causing explosions on the character themselves if they hit a certain body part of the Raging Brachydios that's covered in slime. You'll notice that the Raging Brachydios is covered in that yellowish green slime from the head and the fist as well as the tail. The more you hit that slime, the redder it gets, and the redder it gets, eventually it will explode on you. That's pretty much the mechanic in previous generation games and even in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. However, in Iceborne, there is actually a little bit of a change as to what happens. In Iceborne, rather than the slime itself exploding while it's on the limb of the Raging Brachydios, instead you'll notice that the slime actually drips down on the players themselves and then it explodes on any character that the slime drops onto, still creating the exact same situation as the previous generation version of Raging Brachydios, where the more you hit that body part, the more red it turns until eventually it explodes on you. However, in this case scenario, you can actually avoid the explosion outright if you actually roll away from the slime that's dripping on the Raging Brachydios itself. Having said that, if the slime itself does not hit a player but instead drips on the ground, then that part of the ground is now volatile, and if you don't move away from that part of the ground, that explosion is still gonna happen on you. So for close range players out there, the key visual here is the dripping slime. You have to watch out for where that slime drops because it will explode on you. If you're too close in proximity to the Raging Brachydios, it will just outright explode on you. Or if you're a little bit of a distance to Raging Brachydios, it will drop down on the ground, and that ground is now volatile and it will eventually explode within the next, I don't know, second or two. I couldn't actually figure out how many seconds it takes for that slime to explode, but it will eventually explode on you. It is rather quick in my personal opinion when it comes to that explosion. So do watch out for that if you're using a close range weapon. It still maintains that mechanic of the more you hit it, the more that volatile slime activates until eventually it explodes. However, there is a little bit of a change in there, so just bear that in mind. Now, as you may have noticed when it comes to the narration of the Raging Brachydios itself by the host, you'll notice that they said that if you actually use a puddle pod on the activated areas, you can actually cool down that particular area of the Raging Brachydios. So the more it activates, it will eventually explode, but in order to make it safe for yourself, you need to use a puddle pod or something with water in it in order to kind of neutralize it.
And if you want to be extra, expert pro level like we saw here, you can actually use a water moss, a puddle pod, and that'll wash out the slime in one go.
Oh, are you handing out tips? You got any more?
No, that's it. That's all.
Now, in terms of how that mechanic works, I'm wondering if either water weapons or ice type weapons can actually do that. Now, they're using an ice bow in this particular preview, and as far as I'm aware, the ice bow did not do anything. So I'm wondering if the water bow can actually neutralize that slime the more you use it. So any water elemental weapons, I wonder if they can actually neutralize the actual slime itself and make it cool down, making it kind of like a prominent decision to use a water type weapon when it comes to fighting a Raging Brachydios. I wonder if that's going to be the case. For those of you that might not know it, if you're fighting a Lavasiot, if you use a fire type weapon, you can actually soften the Lavasiot's hide if it hardens, because the more you hit the Lavasiot itself with a fire type weapon, the more the hide softens because it is activated by heat. So that is kind of like a secret mechanic when it comes to the Lavasiot itself. I wonder if the same case scenario happens with the Raging Brachydios, where if you use a water type weapon, the more you cool down the volatile slime until eventually it just doesn't activate in any way, shape, or form. So I'm wondering if that's a case scenario that we can actually do in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. I can't wait to actually experiment on that. I'm gonna try that out when it comes out. Now, alongside this particular slime mechanic that we already saw in previous generation games, you'll notice that Raging Brachydios also has a slew of new attack moves. One of them is the sweeping fist motion, where it sweeps its fist on the ground and creates a trail of explosion with both the left and the right fist. I'm assuming it can do it with one fist or the other regardless of the pattern, so one way or the other can happen. And alongside this, it also has that new kind of like super move attack where it creates an explosion on one direction and then the other direction and then directly in front of it. So there's definitely some new attack patterns not seen before on a Raging Brachydios in previous generation games, and even on a standard Brachydios in Iceborne. So this is definitely a monster that's gonna feel fresh for anyone out there, regardless if you're a veteran player or a completely new player to the Monster Hunter series, starting out with Monster Hunter World. Definitely look out for this monster around March 23. It's gonna be a very exciting fight. Now, when it comes to the rage mode of Raging Brachydios, I'm sure many of you who have fought the standard Brachydios will notice that when it becomes enraged, it goes into that yellow slime state that's similar to the Raging Brachydios. However, because Raging Brachydios is already in that yellow slime state to begin with as default, when it goes into rage mode, so the red eye icon, what happens instead is all of its body parts start to glow red. So think of it like this: the eye icon is yellow, Raging Brachydios is yellow. The eye icon is red, Raging Brachydios is red. So Raging Brachydios is basically just, I don't know, it's duplicating whatever color the eye icon is on your map, and that's what you need to pay attention to. If the eye icon is red, expect Raging Brachydios to be red. Now finally, when it comes to Raging Brachydios, if you actually follow it to its nest and it's nearly dying and it doesn't go to sleep, what it will do is it will pound the ground a la Stand Rush style, and then eventually it will do one final powerful ground pound, and that will cause walls to rise up on all of the exits of the Raging Brachydios' nest. So all exits are sealed. Now, this pretty much means you're in kind of like a boxing ring between yourself and the Raging Brachydios itself. So you're pretty much locked in with the Raging Brachydios in that particular area until you defeat it. Now, this is going to be a situation where I would highly advise players to basically go with your whole group into that particular area, because if the Raging Brachydios can lock you in that particular area yourself, imagine what would happen if it was just you and the Raging Brachydios in that one area, but you had 3 other party members. You're basically looking at a 4-man difficulty against yourself and a Raging Brachydios all on your own, because your teammates are now completely locked out of that particular boxing ring between yourself and Raging Brachydios. So this is going to be a situation where if you are with teams, be patient with your teammates, because you don't want to be locked out at a 4-man difficulty Raging Brachydios in this particular game. I don't think that's something that you want to do, because that's going to take a whole load of forever to do. Now that is pretty much it for this video, quickly covering what we can expect when it comes to Raging Brachydios in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. This monster will be coming out alongside Furious Rajang on the 23rd of March, and for the most part, these are the main things that we can expect when it comes to Raging Brachydios. We don't know what to expect when it comes to Furious Rajang as of yet. They haven't previewed that, but I'm hoping they do give us kind of like a preview gameplay of it at some point in future before it releases. But overall, this is what you can expect when it comes to Raging Brachydios when it comes around 23rd of March in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Now that is pretty much it for me for this video. If you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.